The Arizona Wildcats go against the Mount St. Mary's Emmett S. Berg. That's their mascot. Interesting. The final score, Arizona Wildcats 78 to the Mount St. Mary's Emmett S. Berg 55. It was really cool to see Brendan Ashley come out, have a good game, have a really good game against these guys. I know that Mount St. Mary's is not known for a very strong basketball team, but they have played quite a few top-notch teams, and so they're not really intimidated, and you could see that by the flow of their three-pointers. Mount St. Mary's had 7 for 21 from three-point land, so what did they do? They shot probably 33%. I guess it was 33%. So, and the U of A Wildcats had a hard time with the three-pointers. We ended up shooting, the U of A Wildcats ended up shooting 4 for 16. I know that Gabe York tried to knock down a three-pointer. He was 1 for 5. A nice one that was good to see was Cartwright, Jackson-Cartwright knocked down 2 for 3 from three-point land, and then Elliot Pitts knocked down 1 for 2 from three-point land. There was only 2 players from Mount St. Mary's that got over 10 points. There was Chris DeHaan, and then there was also Brian Ash. And I kept hearing Brian Ash's name quite a bit, so he was doing pretty good. And you know, I to go back on the point of Brendan Ashley for the U of A Wildcats having a bust-out game. I think that Mount St. Mary's did not have anybody that could contain Brendan Ashley. So Brendan Ashley ended up with 21 points. He was 9 for 10 from field goal land, and he shot 3 for 6 from free throws. So that was kind of interesting. But on a positive note, then he did knock down 4, or he did get 4 offensive rebounds, and I love offensive rebounds. I think they're so important to a team's strength. And Brandon Ashley got as many offensive rebounds as the whole team did on Mount St. Mary's. Mount St. Mary's had 4 offensive rebounds, and the U of A Wildcats did out-rebound the Mount St. Mary's Emmett S. Berg team 35 to 28. I'm looking at the ArizonaWildcats.com stats here, so it might be different if you look at the ESPN stats. One thing that I saw was a total of 10 rebounds from Caleb Tarzewski, and T.J. McConnell had a really, really rough night. He only made 3 field goals out of 10 shots. He tried to knock down a couple three-pointers, but that didn't work out. He ended up with 7 assists, and his last game he had 11 assists, which was much better. But that was a Division II team that U of A played last game. We had Gabe York that you know, like I said, he had a hard time making 1 for 5 from three-point land, but he made up for it a little bit with his assists. He had 4 assists, so I was pretty happy about that. And the thing about Brendan Ashley is he needs. I know that Mount St. Mary's is kind of you know, I think the U of A paid, what was it, $95,000 for Mount St. Mary's to come to Olson Court and play the Wildcats. Not quite sure about that. I have to find out a little bit more information. But that was kind of interesting. But Brendan Ashley, it was nice for him to have something to look at in the future. Say, I did good in this game. You know, there probably wasn't somebody that had an answer for Brendan Ashley. That's why he got 4 offensive rebounds and 2 defensive rebounds. I think that the reason why he got so little defensive rebounds was because he was kind of turning that over to Caleb Tarzewski and having Caleb Tarzewski get those rebounds. Stanley Johnson got 6 defensive rebounds. So, but Stanley Johnson had 0 for 4 from three-point land, and ended up with 8 points. We had Brendan Ashley with 21 points. We had Caleb Tarzewski with 10 points. We had Rondé Hollis-Jefferson with 15 points. His shoulder wiggle didn't work out too well tonight because he only had 3 for 7 from free throw land. But other than that, I think he did pretty good. And it's hard to gauge a guy like Rondé Hollis-Jefferson because he is unique. He's a very unique person because he's interesting. He's very interesting. He's very interesting to watch whenever there's a press conference or anything like that. To watch him to watch what he says, and I think the last press conference that I saw was him and Brendan Ashley, and he was asking a little boy if the little boy had any questions in the press conference, and it was kind of interesting to get Rondé Hollis-Jefferson's input into the press conference and just kind of make it lighter because it's so serious, and that's one thing that's why I'm saying that he is unique, because you get so many guys, Cartwright, Johnson, T.J. McConnell, Caleb Tarzewski. You get you know, and even Brendan Ashley a little bit, Gabe York, and they're all kind of serious, but are definitely more serious than Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. And Rondé Hollis-Jefferson is just he's kind of a guy that tries to lighten up the mood, and I think that he is going to be one that is going to make this season fun. If he can keep his attitude and not be quashed by, you know, hey, you know, we need to get serious now, we need to get down to business and things like that. Because, like I say, he's unique because he has talent. He has quite a bit of talent, and he's also kind of a joker. You know, he's a very interesting guy, and I think that it'll be nice to have to look at the season and say, you know, that was a kind of a neat guy. I don't think that he's going to be a go-to guy. But I could be wrong because he scored 15 points tonight, and he was, in the guard position, and I think there was 3 guys that scored over 10 points, so maybe he is that go-to guy, but I think more of the go-to guy would be Brendan Ashley. But Brendan Ashley, like I said, he's just kind of finding his way back into this team because of that broken foot, and he wants to, kind of see if the other team members are going to give him enough respect to throw him the ball whenever times are tough, whenever the clock is running down, stuff like that. As far as right now, I see teamwork of Caleb Tarzewski and T.J. McConnell. I see those guys working together very, very well. And Rust, I think his name is Rustin. Rustic Dusan, or Dusan Rustic. He's another post player, similar to Caleb Tarzewski, and it's nice to have him step up. Also, he had 1 offensive rebounds and 2 defensive rebounds, and he only played for 6 minutes, so that's not bad at all. Brendan Ashley played 20, I think it was 28 minutes. Anyway, so the Arizona Wildcats were able to get this victory and move on to the next game, and hopefully Cartwright learned a little bit, and hopefully Stanley Johnson is getting a little bit more comfortable, so hopefully the guys are just learning a little bit every single game, moving forward. The final score, Arizona Wildcats 78 to the Mount St. Mary's Emmett S. Berg team 55.